I went to a weird movie theater. When people leave before the credits, they die. I'm not a movie buff. But my friend Kelsey is. Through the many years I've known her, she's exposed me to a whole host of films I never would have dreamed of watching if it weren't for her influence. Niche horror flicks, campy action movies, psychological thrillers imported from Germany. You get the idea. Most of the time, they were pretty great. Often they were strange. And occasionally, they were just bad. But I love Kelsey, and she loves having someone to watch her weird movies with, so I figured it was the least I could do for my oldest friend. Recently, Kels has been in a pretty dark place. Her dad is in hospice care after a long battle with cancer, and so she's been spending most of her time with her immediate family. She'll occasionally shoot me the odd text asking to set up plans, but it's been hard for her to put aside time given everything that's going on. That was until recently. I got a text from her for something that I knew she'd commit to. There was a movie coming out that was doing a really short theatrical run, and she wanted to catch it before it was pulled from the big screen. The movie in question wasn't playing in any of our popular local theaters, so we had to do a little research to find the closest indie theater near us. We found one that was about a 40-minute drive from us, called the Daydream Theater. I looked up the venue prior to the event. It had no ratings. Kind of weird, and yet, this place definitely seemed par for the course with the types of hipstery locations Kelsey liked going to, so I didn't overthink it. She picked me up from my house and drove us both to the theater. After a moderately awkward and quiet evening drive, we arrived. The theater looked old and run down. It was situated in the part of town you'd usually avoid at night. We went in, and to both of our surprises, there was actually a small crowd of roughly 20 other people standing around the lobby and lining up for the movie, likely due to the movie's limited theater run. Kelsey and I scanned the inside of the theater as we walked to the ticket booth. Adorned on the walls were posters of movies I'd never heard of before. Kels, who was understandably a bit low energy, was slowly starting to light up as she took in the character and flavor of this establishment. A haggard-looking older man was helming the ticket desk. His vibe was a mix of disinterest with a dash of seen some shit. I could pick up on it immediately. Almost felt like he was running a business that he was hoping would fail. He eyed the small group that had come in for the showing. Bit of a crowd, he said, to no one really, his eyebrows slightly raised. He charged us for the tickets. He then mumbled the following. This theater's got a bit of a legacy that's out of my hands. Pretty likely your movie will play, but a small chance it won't. No refunds. Kelsey and I were already well on our way to the auditorium when he muttered that. Any part of me that wanted to ask the old man for clarification was quelled by Kelsey's excitement of just being there. As we made our way, I could hear the man repeating the same mumbled line to the others who were buying their tickets. Likely your movie will play, but a small chance it won't. No refunds. We entered the dark room and found some perfect seats right in the middle of the auditorium. No drinks or popcorn. It was always serious business when watching movies with Kelsey. Slowly others spilled into the room and settled into their seats as well. I noticed the gaunt-looking man who was working the booth slowly walk in and take a seat at the very front. I've been wanting to see this for a while, whispered Kels excitedly. It warmed me to see her happy. The quiet whispers amongst the various groups in the theater dwindled down as the pre-movie announcements started rolling. The instrumentals of Let's All Go to the Lobby played over a basic presentation that a graphic designer could have mocked up in an afternoon. Please remember to identify the exits in case of emergency or audience participation. Keep talking to a minimum. Cell phones are optional. Goddamn, this theater's got it all. Posters of movies no one has ever seen and ironic pre-movie PSAs. Thanks for coming. And just like that, the movie started. Old-timey music filled the room. On the screen was a credits list of the main cast of the movie. I didn't recognize a single name. Kels turned to me with a raised eyebrow. Next on the screen was the title card of the movie, overlaid on a black and white image of a detective's office. The title of the movie was literally... Seriously, the title was 2 quotation marks with a big empty space in between. No actual name. The old world orchestral sound continued. Then, the image of 2 men sitting across from each other at a diner. Everything looked and sounded dated. The score, the filming style, the set, the costumes, even the black and white palette, it all looked straight out of the 1940s or 50s. I'd never seen Casablanca, but this felt like something from that era. Just as I was taking it all in, the haggard old ticket taker up front got up and faced the audience. Alright folks, if this film ain't your speed, now's your last chance to leave. You've got 2 minutes. People looked around, puzzled. I whispered to Kelsey, this isn't your movie, right? No, Colin Farrell's supposed to be in this, she whispered back, just as confused. A couple of folks got up and left, grumbling about the bait and switch. The ticket guy remained unfazed. I turned to Kelsey. You still want to stay? She shrugged. Could be interesting. I turned back to the film. On screen, 2 men were in a diner, sipping coffee, taking slow drags of their cigarettes. The old man spoke up again. You've got 30 seconds. If you stay to the end. Can't leave until the credits roll. We exchanged amused looks. How serious could this really be? No one else left, and the old man resumed his seat. The film was a detective story. 2 old-school detectives were on the case of a loose killer. They bantered, visited shady spots, examined clues, classic noir stuff. 30 minutes in though, the plot wasn't going anywhere. The characters had good chemistry, but nothing much was happening. I found myself nodding off, but Kelsey was transfixed. Eventually, I noticed a man in the audience sneaking out. He tiptoed down the aisle and slipped through the exit. I chuckled quietly. Guess he wasn't buying into the hype either. On screen, the two detectives sat at their desks when suddenly, a third man burst in. "They found another body," he shouted. The detectives rushed out with him to the crime scene, a body lying under a thin white sheet in a park, surrounded by civilians and officers. One detective asked, "What's the story?" "Mangled beyond recognition," replied an officer. "Gentleman in his 30s. No ID, just left here in the middle of the park." The second detective took a drag of his cigarette. "Time's running out." I perked up. Finally, some momentum. But soon, the movie sank back into that slow, atmospheric groove, focusing on the detectives' personal lives, their off-duty routines, and quirky habits. An hour in, I whispered, "Do you know what movie this is?" Kelsey shook her head. "Not a clue." Lots of build-up though. I was groggy, bored. A family nearby started quietly gathering their things and leaving. Kelsey didn't notice, but I did, a little relieved by the distraction. The ticket guy noticed too. He leaped up and shouted, "Don't leave, you can't leave until the movie's over." Everyone turned to look. The family didn't stop, disappearing through the door. The old man slumped back in his seat, rubbing his temples. Kelsey giggled quietly beside me, but his reaction had unnerved me. I refocused on the screen. A detective lay awake in bed, lost in thought. Then an abrupt cut to another crime scene, this time showing chalk outlines of 3 bodies. I swallowed. Coincidence, I told myself. We were watching a detective story, after all. But that uneasy feeling lingered. Kelsey's phone rang, startling us both. She fumbled for it, whispering, "I told my mom to call if anything changed with Dad." On screen, one of the detectives picked up a ringing phone on his desk. I blinked. Just a coincidence, I thought. Kelsey took the call. Her dad's condition had taken a sudden turn for the worse. She hung up, her face tight with worry. "I have to go," she whispered. I grabbed her arm. "Just wait a few minutes, it might be almost over." "I can't, I need to see him." She got up and I followed, my heart pounding. I reached out to stop her when the ticket guy blocked me, his face dark. "Back to your seat," he growled. "There's nothing you can do about that one." Shaken, I returned to my seat, his apology barely reaching my ears. On screen, the detective hung up his phone. "They found the killer," he said to his partner. "He's holed up with a hostage." The scene cut to the detective storming an apartment. Inside, a man stood with blood smeared across his face, hands raised, grinning madly. As the officers handcuffed him, the camera zoomed to the ground, revealing Kelsey's flip phone with her heart keychain. I closed my eyes, fighting a scream that refused to come out. The detectives murmured, "Look what he's done to her," and the camera panned to Kelsey's lifeless, disfigured body. An officer spoke. "This monster deserves the death penalty." My stomach twisted as the screen faded to black, the credits rolling over a triumphant orchestral score. The last message on the screen, "Thank you for coming."